Welcome to Barry's Campfire Guitar, Lesson 5. In this one, we're going to take a couple of songs and show how you can medley. And you can also, when a singer's voice is high, and a lot of the singers that I like have high voices, you can transpose those voices down an octave and still come out with a song that sounds pretty good. So you don't have to forsake singing your favorite songs just because someone's out of your range. So I'm going to show you how you can just drop that an octave and sing it two pitch, but an octave lower, so you don't need to capo the guitar. And the songs that we're going to do, one's in the key of C and the other's in the key of G, but we're going to bridge between the two of them. We're going to medley them, and that's going to be possible because the songs all have E minor, D, and C as the major chords that are used in the song, starting with E minor, D, and C. One has a passing reference to the A minor, which gives you the clue that it's in C, and the other has a passing reference to the A sus2, which is the A chord with the open B string. So that gives you the clue that it's in G. There is also in that song the G chord itself. But you'll see that even though the two songs are in different keys, they medley pretty well. Now these are both, as with the previous videos I've done, they're Canadian songs, Canadian singers, Canadian folk rock. That's what I do. These are Canadian rock songs, but you can folk them quite a bit with the acoustic guitar, and I have gotten these requested in the past. So so it'll happen. If you're an April Wine fan or a Neil Young fan, then you're going to ask for these songs because these are very popular, well known. So, and I can, they're neat because you can play them in either order. You can medley one with the other, or vice versa. So, the first one I'll do is Neil Young. Keep on rocking in the free world. Keep on rocking in the free world. Ah, you like my Jean Chrétien. Keep on rocking in the free world. This is this song is sung quite high because it's Neil Young, and there's colors on the street, red, white, and blue. So he's singing the G. There's colors on the street, red, white, and blue. To pitch, but it's Neil Young. There's colors on the street, red, white, and blue. There's people shuffling their feet. There's people sleeping in their shoes. But there's a warning sign on the road ahead. There's a lot of, and on you go. And with that terrible falsetto, it doesn't sound good at all. But I can make it sound better if I just drop the voice an octave, and I still sing. There's colors on the street, red, white, and blue. There's people shuffling their feet. There's people sleeping in their shoes. So you, same chords, E minor, D, and C. And then the chorus is G, D, C, E minor. So I'll give that a shot, and I'll show you how you medley over to April Wine, Sign of the Gypsy Queen. Also, key of C, but E minor, D, C. There's colors on the street, red, white, and blue. There's people shuffling their feet. There's people sleeping in their shoes. But there's a warning sign on the road ahead. There's a lot of people saying we'd be better off dead. Don't feel like Satan, but I am to them. I try to forget it any way I can. Keep on rocking in the free world. Keep on rocking in the free world. Keep on rocking in the free world. That last little bit is the part where I mentioned where there's a passing reference to the A sus2 and the G. That's the A sus2, and that's the G. Ba-na-na-na-na-dum-bum. here to play the song for you. I'm here to show you some tips. And one of the things that I do in that song is the first half of the verse, I establish the pattern with the vocal melody by playing the full E minor chord, the full D chord, and the full C chord. But the second half of the verse, in the electric version that he plays, he's got an electric guitar that's jangling around a little bit, making it sound different. So for the second half of the verse, instead of, which is too repetitive and too boring, I just pick it a little bit and more emphasize the low strings rather than the treble strings to kind of simulate the effect that he does in the song electrically. And I'm not picking any pattern in particular. I'm just kind of hammering alternate picking on those more bass strings rather than just to vary it up. So how's the second verse start about? She puts the kid away. She puts the kid away and she's gonna get a hit. She hates her life and what she's done to it. That's one more kid, never get to go to school, never get to fall in love, get her get the feet cool. Keep on rocking in the free world. And this is, sometimes I'll toss it now to Sign of the Gypsy Queen, or I'll go from Sign of the Gypsy Queen to Keep on Rocking in the Free World. Usually the other way, actually. And that run is also in Keep on Rocking in the Free World. So it's a kind of a neat echoing of that effect. Now, I mentioned that I was talking about transposing the vocal down an octave. Miles Goodwin sings in my range, but in that song, in the third verse, when he really wants to add a bunch of tension to it, he actually sings way up here with the high A note. Now, Neil Young is singing the high G. Miles Goodwin goes up another full step to the A. So the last verse goes, I won't do verse 1 and verse 2, but I'll start at the third verse, which is shadows, and he would sing it. Shadows moving without a sound from the hold of a sleepless town. Evil seems to be everywhere. He the spirit that brought despair. Troubles coming without control. No one stand that's got all. Hurricane at the I can't do that actually. Hurricane at the very least. In the words of the Gypsy Queen. It's too high. I can't do that. So the entire song, I transpose it down an octave. So shadows. So I'll go shadows moving without a sound from the whole of the sleepless town. So I would drop it an octave. Shadows moving without a sound from the whole of the sleepless town. Evil seems to be everywhere. He the spirit that brought despair. Troubles coming without control, and no one stand that's got a hold. Hurricane at the very least. In the words of the Gypsy Queen. Son of the Gypsy Queen. Pack your things and leave. Word of a woman who knows. Take all your gold and you go. Son of the Gypsy Queen. Pack your things and leave. Word of a woman who knows. Take all your gold and you go. You got 1,000 points of light for your homeless man. You got a kinder, gentler machine gun hand. So there you go. 2 songs by 2 great Canadians, Neil Young, Miles Goodwin from April Wine. and showing you how you can take a high-pitched song and a rock song and folk it up for acoustic guitar solo. I've got that request a couple times, and you're like, you could say, oh, well, how do I do an electric song on acoustic guitar? Well, just folk it up and drop it down an octave if you need to. And if a song gets too boring, you can always medley it up. Just pick a song with comparable chords. The E minor, D, and C are both in the key of G and the key of C, so you can medley those two even though they're in different keys. So that's it for this lesson. Again, Canadian folkies, rockers who can be folk down or rocked up, either way. And this is a prelude to the next lesson 6 that I'm going to do, which really focuses on the underrated, underappreciated Miles Goodwin from April Wine. I'm going to show you some really neat stuff that he does in his songwriting and his playing, and show you some really good folky Miles Goodwin April Wine tunes. So I hope you enjoyed my campfire and my camper here. I actually do have a candle lit, so this is kind of at the campfire here.